Howdy, y'all. Well, that was a little too southern. Damn, wow. I wasn't even born in the South. Anyways, well, this is everybody's favorite segment. My name is Ash. Here we work on tarot reads, spells, and alignments. And the segment we're doing today is cosmic readings. Now, as I'm pulling the cards for this, we're gonna sit here and talk about it just a little bit. Oh, this is already really interesting. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, this is already weird. So I'm gonna do my best to slow down. I've been feeling the buzz again. Whenever I do tarot readings, I get connected to some really crazy energy. Especially when I do my cosmic readings. I can't explain it, but it's literally like I'm on effing crack. It's like I had a cup of coffee or something and I got the goosebumps. Well, I guess you can't see, but I got goosebumps. I get goosebumps anytime I do the cosmic reads. It's everyone's favorite, too. I don't understand, but I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. I'm not complaining. Cosmic reads are actually one of my favorites, too. Because I love the deck. Oh my god. Calm down. I'm getting manic from the energy. I'm gonna sip my tea really fast and just let it sit. This holy crap, this energy. Oh. I've been doing reading after reading. Like, when I sit here and do these videos, I often record 1 or 2 videos at a time. So either I am like super jazzed by the end of it, or I am completely drained and passing out on the couch. Eventually I'll be able to do this without the book. Right now, in the spread, we've got family life, social life, work life, love life, school life. And then we have that extra card. So in the family life, we've got the Temperance and the King of Swords. So I was told, by reading the book, whenever it's actually a suit card and not a number card, it's a specific individual in your life. So let's see. So in the family life, in the present, we're embodying the energy of Temperance, which in my mind, yeah, Temperance is the one that has to do with balance, doesn't it? Why am I asking you? I'm the tarot reader. There it is. Upright. Refinement, purification, renewal, blending of opposites, balance. Health, the golden mean, harmony, perfecting of worth. Perfecting of worth. Yeah, I know that's what it says. It just sounds weird. So currently, in your present, you are refining, purifying, renewing. Basically, you're balancing stuff out. You're trying to balance the scales. Because everyone, everywhere, has their own personal scales of life. And whether we feel it or not, everyone says the work balance, life balance, social balance, all that stuff. So it looks like the family dynamic is finally starting to balance out. Specifically. In the present. It's doing good, it's healthy. Finally, things seem to be in a more peaceful place. As opposed to, because I know in the energies, especially mine, the family energy has been a little hectic. Excuse me. And the King of Swords. So now again, remember, in tarot, the genders are androgynous. Just because it says King of Swords, it could be anybody in your life. So is there a person possessing cleverness and skill, with an active mind that seizes upon inspirations and immediately tries to realize them? He is fierce in pursuit of his purpose, but may be frustrated due to his lack of foresight. He seldom thinks matters through, but rushes to attain his intention. His feelings are sensitive, but he's tender domineer over others merely by his force of will. Now for me, that actually kind of sounds like me. Typically, they say it refers to someone in the family. But honestly, I don't, in my personal energy, I don't feel like I have someone like that. So it must be reflected on me. Now, for you guys, you could very well have someone like that. It does actually say a man. Well, like I said, it could be anyone. Cleverness and skill with an active mind that seizes upon inspirations and immediately tries to realize them. I know that's something I've actually been embodying myself. So this energy could actually be talking about you. It does specifically say about relatives. But like I said, sometimes it's not as cut dry as the book says. It's more or less what kind of the energies come through. So it could be you, it could be someone in your family. Maybe someone you look up to. Maybe you're balancing a relationship with them. That'd be kind of cool. The golden mean. Harmony. Perhaps you've harmonized with inspiration, but lacks foresight. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that in my energy. Oh, it could be my sister. Because the last sentence says, but he tends to domineer over others merely by force of will. You know, it could also be, we just don't know our family members as well as we don't think. I know my family doesn't know me very well. It could actually very well, like I said, maybe it's someone you don't even know. Or, what I mean by that is, it could be a family member who surprises you. Maybe they were like this and you didn't know them that well. Or maybe you did discover some new family. I have had that happen. My mom found out and, her dad went out and blah blah blah, had some other kids. So I actually did gain new family. So it's quite possible you did too. Social life. Let's see what the social life says. Justice. As we all know, well, you know what? Let's actually use this book for that reference. What you gotta say about justice? Equity, rightness, probity, and executive. This book does not help as much as I was thinking. It's mainly just the energies, I suppose. So who's the Queen of Cups? So the Cups is always energy of emotions. Water. Liquid. Fluidity. And that definitely went way too far. So you know what, let's read Justice first. Justice, I don't feel like you really need to say it, but I mean, it's might as well. Oop, too far. Upright. Balanced, used of force. Weighing of factors. I actually have to get a cup of tea just for these. Every time I do these readings, my throat go out. And I can't speak properly. It goes out. Balanced use of force. Weighing of factors, fair decisions, judicious authority, necessary adjustment, and a wrong righted. And that was in the social life. So perhaps there was a fight with some friends. Maybe you had a group. Maybe you had a specific friend or a couple friends. Maybe it was just one. Maybe it could have been one single friend you had a fallout with. And it's one of those, because it's always so much fun, what as they say, foresight's 2020. So you can look back in the past. Oh, let's see what the Queen of Cups is before I start jump into energies. Because for me personally, it just means in general. So typically, breakups, even though you can't really break up with friends, breakups happen for a reason, and then they tend to... Where was I going with that? Tend to have that foresight come back and be like, oh, one of those... You argue, and then you guys clear your heads, and then you come back, and you realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't have argued. Epiphany, I suppose, is the word. Hold on, apparently I can't search at the same time. Oopsie, too far. Am I too far? Yep, too far. There it is, Queen of Cups. Okay, now I found it. So it's like, in my mind, because I've had a lot of friendships fail, and that's where the justice could be coming through, is perhaps it was a friendship that fell through, and perhaps you were right. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong, but it could have been, you felt like you were right, and your friend or other person was wrong. Basically, it feels like your side of the story got shown. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong, but it's like information was brought to light that changed the entire situation. So even though you don't talk to them anymore, it could be possible that they actually changed their opinion of you because justice was brought forward and something was brought to light. However, the Queen of Cups, a mature woman of a dreamy, inward-looking nature, lost amid her thoughts and memories. She seems to have no personality of her own, but reflects the moods of those around her. She dislikes having her tranquility disturbed by the problems of other human beings. Man, don't we all? And does her best to avoid those who are in difficult or emotional pain. At the same time, she likes to present a superficial appearance of interest in the affairs of others. She is kind, but avoids involvement to protect her own feelings. Interesting. Again, androgynous, it could be a male too. Maybe in your social life, you have a friend, or you just got a friend. Because that says it's the future. So it's very possible you have a friend on the way. Or you're making a new friend, who knows? And they're just kind of like a side B character is what it really sounds like. More or less just someone who kind of enjoys, technically, there is no side B characters. If they're in your life, they're in your life for a reason. But, I mean, let's see, what am I trying to say here? Perhaps it could be someone who's been... I'm trying to find the right words. I want to say absent-minded, but that doesn't make sense. This person, maybe you light them up. It says they don't really have a personality, and they just kind of... It sounds like a floater. It just sounds like someone who kind of goes through their day almost on autopilot. They're not really interacting with people. They kind of keep it to themselves, which is fair. Hermit mode is totally viable. Totally viable. But then again, it feels like you're on autopilot. You're not really moving, you're not really living. Just really kind of keeping to themselves. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It actually just really feels like someone who just really enjoys their own time and space. Maybe you're finally getting a friend who vibes with you. Because I know I enjoy my time and space. And the truth is, yes, I enjoy other people's company. But at the same time, you kind of try not to get sucked into their energy too much, It's okay to listen to people and hear what they have to say and help others with their problems, but then we get sucked into it, and that's where empaths really suffer. Is because then we get completely sucked into it, and it's like, well, now your problems somehow actually become my problems. So we kind of get to the point, it's just like, I just rather not talk to anyone. Not that I don't like people, I just, I just rather kind of keep to myself. So it's very possible you actually have someone in your life or going to be in your life who does that. New friends. Yay, new friends. We'll go back with the card of fate in a second. So in the work life, judgment. Judgment just always means, typically, you're being judged or something is being judged. Let's see if the book actually helps. Change of position, renewal of outcome. Interesting. See, I try not to get my bias into this because, again, I have my own feelings on what judgment means. So when you watch the reader, you kind of have to be careful and see if what they say kind of matches with how you feel. You don't want someone telling you how to live your life. See if what they say resonates. Because honestly, judgment, whenever you actually read it, sounds like a good thing. Reward for honor, favorable ruling, acquittal. You guys have to use words I can understand. Proof of innocence, just deserts, impartial choice, or impartial decisions, elevation of rank. And the Five of Swords, if I'm not mistaken, you can even look at it and you can tell it's combative energy. See what I'm saying? I'm trying to slow down. I'm slipping over my own damn words. So much energy pouring in. Cups. Swords. Too far. Loss of dispute. Defeat. Failure. Unfavorable ruling. Display of weakness. Troubles, anxieties for the future. Interesting. Those two cards don't typically go together. Perhaps kind of just like the Justice card. Perhaps you were wronged in some way in work. Specifically work scenarios. Because I don't like feeding into this energy. I don't like negative energy. But it's like, man, someone effed you over. Okay? That typically happens. I've had it happen too at work. But the Judgment card is good. So quite possibly... So what? Okay, well, I'm actually getting a little confused on this one. Because it says in the future. Oh, don't tell me that. It could very well be you get a new job and then you start having issues. I really hope that's not the case. Because it says in the current. I don't know, that's just a really weird. Really weird. Okay, help me out here, Spirit. What you trying to say? You've lost something. You were judged and you lost. However, the ruling has switched. As you can see in this one, the guy actually wasn't even trying to fight back. He's being attacked. Loss of dispute. So perhaps you were quite wronged, and maybe it was righted. Maybe something was come to light once again. Obviously, stuff like that doesn't really help. Because either way, what's done is done. What's happened, happened. And sure, you can change the future, but you can't change the past. Display of weakness and troubles. Reward for honor. Man, okay, I'm sorry. This one's actually a little confusing me. Ooh, maybe you had a display of judgment because you had a display of weakness. You got judged and had a bad ruling. But then it turns out it wasn't actually your fault. Or maybe again it was just realized that it was a bad ruling. You weren't even trying to do anything. I feel like I'm trying to find more in this message, but I just don't like negative messages. A wrong that was righted. That leads into a dispute. That's the part that's confusing me, is a judgment saying a wrong that was righted, but then in the future the co-workers defeat. Oh, maybe it's them. Oh, that's what it is. The judgment ruled in your favor. They're the ones, the loss of defeat, loss of dispute, and the failure, unfavorable ruling. Oh, see, I was like, how does that make sense? That's because that's what happened to them. So essentially, in your work life, you ended up showing up on the positive side. I don't want to do a reading that feeds people's egos, but basically, what the energy is saying, something happened, was brought to light, and now the other person's on the fighting end. That's it. That's all I'm going to dive into. I don't want to read into that too much. Because I hate ego readers like that. People get their comeuppance. It's just how it is. I'm not going to dig into it. We're not going to ask about it. You know. Whoever you are, you know. Because I also don't like digging into the energy of being like, yes, they got their comeuppance. Because, I mean, everyone loves feeling that, but I don't like people suffering. Let's go with that. Even if they make me suffer, it doesn't mean I want them to suffer. Alright, love life. Interesting. I never like the Tower card. I never do. But the Tower card's always positive. I personally view it as negative, and that's where I keep saying my bias comes through a little bit. But the Tower card is actually a very positive card. I only call it a negative card because I'm scared. It scares me. I'm being straight up honest there. So the Tower card actually says grand scheme, edifice, monument, ambitious plans, construction, social elevation, fame, glory, honors, great church or temple, skyscraper or mansion. And then the Two of Wands has to do with people, fire, emotions. No, not emotions, inspirations. Lovers. Two of Wands, Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Boldness, courage, resolution, determination, personal authority, ambition, and risk-taking. Oh. Someone's taking a risk in love. They've got a plan. They've got a plan, too. A plan on how to construct. So either you're going to be building your love on a very strong foundation, or the love that you have is falling away to create a foundation for a better one. Because typically, for the Tower to happen, something has to crumble away first, normally. Because it's the act of the Tower breaking away to reveal what's inside. So apparently, something fell apart, and now they've got a plan. It could be you. Could also be you. I'm getting a little bit of both. It's both sides of the fence. There are some people for this reading who it's them, and they're taking a bold path in love. They've got a plan, they've got an ambitious plan, and they're going to enact on it. However, for the other side, there is someone in your energy who is being bold and ambitious and is going to enact a plan. So good for you. Old love falls away, new love comes in. It doesn't even have to be an actual physical relationship. For instance, it could be love for yourself, you know. Most people don't have healthy relationships because they don't love themselves. You can't love another person if you don't know how to love yourself. So it could actually be an old paradigm of past love for yourself. Because I know for a fact, whenever I misvalued or didn't value myself, I would date people who abused me, who were mentally, physically abusive. But then that story fell away. I grew self-love. I started loving myself more to the point that I wasn't willing to do that. So it could be many different things. Well, that's interesting. School life. Why is it the lovers? That is weird. As I always say, even if you're not in school, we are always a student of life. So what is life trying to teach us? Get lovers. That is pretty bizarre. Love, relationship, marriage, commitment, heartfelt pledge, union, amorous feelings. Okay, hold on. You can't have love in the school. It's just it's called PDA. They don't let you. You can't have love in the school section. That's alright, whatever. Let's check out what the Knave of Wands is. Wand would be the front. She is a young woman or a child who loves to be in control of others, possessing great physical courage, who is ambitious and forceful, refusing to be dissuaded or placated when in pursuit of her goal. Her intense energy gives off her superficial fascination that is apt to be mistaken for beauty. She has a love for power. Fucking run, bro. Fucking run. That's not good. You run. I don't know, it's up to you. It's up to you. I always say, those who wield power, what do they say? It's not the power that makes the monster, it's how you use it. So, loving the control of others, I don't enjoy that. That's not entirely great. I like my freedom. Although I also do know there are some people who enjoy it. I mean, if you've got a power dynamic that matches you, go for it, you know? I personally believe, because I've had negative experiences with very controlling people. So when you say someone who's controlling, I'm like, nope, I'm done. Do not. Go away. But it doesn't seem like it's a negative energy. Because it's also who is ambitious and forceful, refusing to be dissuaded or placated when in pursuit of her goal, which can be a good thing. Because if that's the case, and you're the goal, well, guess what? That drive isn't necessarily bad. It can be good. It's just whether or not how that drive comes out. And like for instance, my dad. The reason I don't really talk to him is because he's being controlled by my stepmom. She literally controls. She is a controlling person. She was always controlling in my life whenever I lived with her. She controlled the entire household. So when you say you've got a domineering, kind of controlling woman, I'm like, But again, if it's not bad, as long as it's not bad, I'm not going to sit there and say innately bad trait that makes them a bad person. No, it just scares me. And that's when you have to have nice boundaries. Be like, okay, if someone wants to be controlling, well, I can have boundaries. Boundaries. Now we're going to go back to the, what did they call it? The fate, the card of fate. That card ties all the other cards together. And it's the world, which is completion, totality, summing up, conclusion of a work, coming full circle, and seeing big picture, final act, last things to be done. Oh, wow. So essentially what that's saying is in every single chapter, you're in a transitional period. You have hit the end of whatever is going on and moving into the next cycle. Wow, that is a powerful ass reading. Holy shit. That is crazy. Like, this is why I get tingles when I do these. And then we're gonna go sideways. So, there's balance, which caused justice and judgment, which ended up being a tower moment, which led to lovers. So the balance was justice was finally drawn out from the judgment that was casted upon you and caused a tower moment, which ended up actually finding love. Love within yourself, love within another. And you got the King of Swords. Interesting. And this is a... Ooh. Interesting. I'm gonna have to go over this one more time. King of Swords. King of Swords, he sits in judgment, holding unsheathed signs of his suit. That's not what I meant. Whatever arises out of the idea of judgment and all its connections, power, command, authority, militant intelligence, law offices, the crown. So basically, if this is the present, that is what happened. This is what's coming into fruition. I kind of feel like it's a person. Or, ooh, maybe it's many people. It could be a team. Because that's one individual, that's one individual, and that's one individual. Interesting. Huh. This was a crazy reading. 30 minutes later. And a cup of tea down. What's kind of concerning was all this black smudgy stuff in the bottom of my tea. I bought this from a store. Is it safe to drink or am I going to die? Tune in next time, we'll find out. You'll have a great freaking day.